Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Earthbound 0. I've been kind of giving it each name that it has in between different parts because there's 3 of them. In the last part we got Lloyd to join our party and now we're going to continue on into a random battle against a little saucer. Fairly vanilla enemy, they have some PSI attacks. You usually encounter them in groups of 2 or more though. And even then there could be another enemy type that's usually in there, but for some reason I didn't run into that until later this part. In between parts I actually did get those capsules I forgot in Duncan's factory. But as for now, it's time for Mad Car. Mad Car is fairly simple, but all the automobile-type enemies share one thing. An attack where they'll puff a fume of smoke, or something like that. That inflicts Ninten, and only Ninten, by the way, there's the rocket we launched at Duncan's factory. That'll affect Ninten, because he's the only person who can get hit with it, with asthma. A temporary status element that only lasts the duration of the battle, however, makes Ninten randomly miss turns, and it sucks. It also lowers his fight, too. Either way, at the end of the train tracks is the Union Station. We're gonna be here a lot this part. You're gonna want about 32 bucks at this point in time because we want to get a ride over to Reindeer. Each train ticket does actually cost its own price. And now we're using the only form of fast travel in the game, really. Trains. However, with this song playing, this song is called Paradise Line, by the way, or at least the vocal version of it is. Mother 1 actually has a fully released official soundtrack. That's mostly actually full instrumental remixes of a lot of the songs, like the first theme that's when it's just Ninten alone, which is Pollyanna, the one when you're with friends, with other party members rather, and this one. And they're actually given lyrics too, which is interesting. This one and Pollyanna are probably my favorites though. The really annoying thing about the train, though, is that if you pick, like, the farthest destination, you're watching the entire train ride, not just the point to where it makes it shorter. By the way, we're here to talk to this lady. She'll give us a hat of a girl, which is the property of a girl who lives in Snowman, who is someone we're going to want to talk to. You need to talk to that old lady, which is the only reason you need to come to town. However, I'm actually going to venture into town. By the way, Reindeer is actually the largest town in the game, but it's entirely optional, which is why I'm not showing it off, really. I'm in its department store, though, to get a plasma beam. A plasma beam is a battle item for Lloyd, that deals around 80 damage of PK beam damage. It has a 12.5%, but it's really good. Either way, now we're back at the Reindeer Station, and we're gonna catch a ride to Snowman. Which, by the way, Snowman's theme, absolutely love it. The remix and Brawl as well is fantastic stuff. And here we are passing through the town of Spokane. We'll be there later this part. And as you can tell, we are now in a new area. I love Snowman's theme. Seriously, this is great stuff. Now the thing is with Snowman, though, because it's such a cold area, you can catch colds. I forget what the chances of it. It's entirely random, I believe, actually, when you're outside in it. By the way, I recommend, if you're gonna do grinding around here, because the enemies give a lot of experience, but they also really hurt. This is your dad. Excuse me, I need to see the person playing this game. Hi. Hello there. I appreciate your kindness to Ninten. I'm the boy's dad. Could you please let me know your name? Thank you for your cooperation. Well, this is random. Well, as many know, my name is Kyle. Are you sure that's spelled correctly? I'm pretty sure I know how to spell my own name, old man. Thank you for spending your time with me. I too have urgent things to do, so I better go now. Slam. By the way, this is a healer's house if you catch colds. The thing is with here at Snowman, actually, is that there is a department store and inn, but they're not incredibly obvious like they are in other towns. When I first entered the town, actually, the first 2 round doors you saw, which were the first 2 houses I think we saw in general, that's them. The department store is very small, it's only 1 floor, but they have the next character's first weapon, though it's not a very useful weapon. And now we're in here. Hey, she looks familiar. My daughter, Anna, has never been a brave girl. But she's a kind of heart, and has a secret strength. Huh. I named Anna earlier on. You've appeared just like in my dream. The boy in my dream looked just like you. So I'm the guy of your dreams? Are you Ninten? Yep. I must go on a trip to find my mom, and I needed your help. So I've been waiting for you, Ninten. First, let's go see what's happening in Youngtown. Daddy, goodbye. Next time, Mommy will come back with me. Believe in us. And since she actually has her sprite, her hat back, her sprite actually does put it on. I like the detail. And now Anna joined our party. And as you can see, she's level 1, so I'm going to be grinding her up again in my various grinding locations. But she starts with PSI, though, so that's pretty good. She's actually the only character in the game that learns Attack PSI, as you'll see momentarily after I do my grinding up to level 19. I also got her magic coin, a gold ring, and some new stuff. And now we're back in Union Station. So let's take a look at what we got. First off, for all 3 characters, but I'm also showing off their PSI, I got pendants. Pendants lower damage from certain elements. And I got the boomerang, which is a really good weapon that you can get early on, too. And as you can see, she has a lot of PSI, a lot of support, and the only attack-based ones in the game, actually, because I don't even remember if the 4th character learns any. She also has super healing, which is useful because it's a revival spell. A lot of them are pretty useful, but her attack ones are the best ones. However, in the forest to the west of Magicant Village, there's a cat you can talk to. If you use telepathy on it via Anna, it'll give you a magic ribbon, which when you use on Anna, which is the only character that can use it, by the way, you get some good stat bonuses. I think it's Force? Yeah, Force by 5. That's pretty useful. And now we're gonna take the train again, this time over to Spokane. No, I kind of wish you could speed this section up like you could sections where you're following other characters with the B button. But, nah. Oh well. I really love this song. Also, fun fact, in this train tunnel, if you actually walk through it, because you can walk through the train tunnels, you can actually walk to all the towns, you don't need to take the train. In this specific tunnel, there's actually, if you walk through it, a pair of bones that if you investigate says, this is why you don't walk on the train tracks. Well, that's not what it says word for word, but that's the gist of it. I gotta say, that's pretty funny. I haven't really talked to a lot of the NPCs, so you never really got to see a lot of the witty dialogue. In fact, you probably barely will. But if you're playing the game yourself, talk to as many of the NPCs as you can. There's some really funny stuff in here. In fact, I just realized in Marysville, there was actually an NPC I forgot to talk to that'll actually give you a card that negates the $1 cost it takes to use a payphone in any of the department stores. My bad. But it's an inventory slot wasted, so not using it. Anyway, welcome to Spookane, which reminds me a lot of Zozum from Final Fantasy VI. Why? There's random encounters. We got a new one against a bear! Vanilla enemy, high HP and defense, but very low speed. Not a hard battle at all. You can encounter them before even going into Sweet's little factory, which can be dangerous at that point, but for me it's nothing too bad at this point. Anyway, there's some things you can check out in Spookane, but I'm gonna go right for what you should go to. This place, this hotel. How you doing, sir? Welcome, $18 for a night. Care to stay? Sure. Sleep tight and don't let the bed bugs bite. You seem like a nice guy. Thank you very much. I'm gonna kill you now. This guy is actually a true Starman. Starmen are dangerous, but not that bad at this point with my levels. They can use PK Beam and PSI Shield. I forget if they had PK Beam Gamma, which was the instant kill one. Either way, with my, as you saw their stats earlier, with my current levels, it's not bad at all to take them out. In fact, with my levels, I can technically fight the dragon back in Magicant, but I'm not doing that until I get that 4th party member. And that was an entirely optional encounter. I think it's entirely optional. Either way, the people of Spokane actually abandoned the main town because it was apparently haunted and moved over to this little settlement over here. There's some really interesting stuff over here. First off, there's a woman in red you're going to want to talk to, this one right here. She will give you the ghost house key because the ghost house is still a thing. In fact, there's actually a family that moved to a different house that you can find, and if you do a little side quest for them, you'll get mouthwash, which you can buy for 10 bucks but sell for like 20, which is like the best money you can make by selling things. At least in terms of profit. Now, this lady here, she's the hint lady. For $1,000 a piece, she'll give you 3 hints. However, What's weird about her is that she knows things that people really shouldn't know about in this game. She knows about our quest for the 8 melodies. She knows about Magicant. And the weird thing is, if you say no to her, or if you use all 3 of her hints, she disappears. So, what the hell? By the way, we're heading up to the Rosemary House now, which is the actual haunted house. But not before encountering a Barbot. These guys are the ones you can also encounter as early as Sweet's Little Factory, actually, and they'll usually be in battles with Little Saucers. They have low HP, but they have PK Beam R, which hurts. Either way, welcome to the Rosemary House. You need to use the ghost key to get in. Sadly, you can't throw the ghost key away as soon as you get it or enter the place. You actually have to store it with your sister back at home. And we immediately get thrown into a battle with a zombie. Vanilla enemy overall, honestly. They're the only enemy in the game that, whose name starts with Z, though, weirdly enough. They have some sort of brain shock attack, if I recall, but I forget what that does. You know what? To Google! Let's see. Causes enemy to feel strange. Huh, odd. And we got an alarm ghost, another fairly vanilla enemy. However, they can call enemies to battle. They are generally... Actually, I think they're any of the other enemies you can encounter in here. They got ghosts. They can summon an armor enemy, which I didn't encounter at all. Let's actually talk about armor for a second. Armor is a fairly vanilla enemy. However, it has high HP and defense. Like, 150 defense even, I think. If you run into, like, 2 of them, run away. It's not worth fighting even at my levels. By the way, I just realized brain shock is pretty much confusion. The alarm ghost can also summon zombies. So if you run into a group of, like, 3 of them, you might have a harder time. Not at my levels, but you could. I actually think I'm about halfway to Ness's max level. Either way, the Rosemary House is a maze, essentially. You get a lot of branching paths. If you want the quickest way to get out of here, the path is top door, bottom door, bottom door. You'll never make it. And bottom. Hey, bottom. And the next new enemy is Shroudly. Vanilla enemy on its own, really? I think it might have, like, PK Fire or something. No, actually, no, it doesn't. The interesting thing about it, though, is that its sprite is another edit. In the Japanese version, its sleeve was dropping down blood, which was kind of gross, honestly. Turn back, and in here we get a life up cream. Yay! Useful, and also a piano. Let's investigate this thing. Nintendo remember the tune. And that's melody number 5. Wait, no, 4. Either way, now I'm going to actually use the Onyx hook and cut back out of this place. I'm going to store the ghost key with my sister as well. And as you'll see here, I did some minor inventory edits. The Franklin badge is now on Anna. Why? Because she has a revival spell. Her getting hit by the instant kill attack would not go well. Either way, the train can't go up here because the bridge is broken. However, we can still continue past this point by walking up these hills. And encountering a random encounter against a wolf. Entirely vanilla enemy. No special attacks at all, really. However, it's worth noting, when the stray dog enemy shows up, you might notice it actually loads up the wolf sprite first before loading on, like, the collar and such. Weird technical issue there. And with the music changing, welcome to, I think it's the Yucca Desert? This place is a lot of same-looking stuff. However, it has these bones. Conversing with a corpse? What a brave kid. Now, the thing about the desert that we're going to be showing off this part, at least, is that there is a melody to get here. Yeah, it's the Yucca Desert. There are charter flights available, and we're actually going to get all 3 of them. During the last war, I laid mines in this desert. I removed all but one of them, so watch your step. Oh, you want to ride on the plane? Yeah. Which lifeline would you like? We're gonna do all 3. And we actually, for doing one of them, we get a ticket stub per character, so each we're gonna get 3 ticket stubs per flight, honestly, really. And you're going to want to get 10 of them, because that's how you get access to that tank over there. The tank stuff is entirely optional, but I still want to show it off. Anyway, important stuff in this fight is that the cactus he just circled is really important. And we get to see how badly this water looks. Seriously, even for NES, that's pretty bad. I understand it's supposed to be like the waves and the washes and such, but that's pretty bad looking. Next thing of importance that this plane ride is going to show off is these ruins. We'll be going there later this part. And a bit of a landmark to get there is this dead forest. And we're done with Flight Plan A. I love the theme that plays on the plane, by the way. And now for Flight B. Planned flight. Damn you, verbalistics. What's weird is that I think in terms of walking speed, this thing isn't going that much faster than NES actually walks or runs. And this really goes to show just how small of a game this actually is in terms of space, because that's Pippi's house, and that's our house. And good lord, man, you flew really close to the superintendent's building. That is not safe. There's Duncan's factory. It's interesting how an RPG can be actually so small while it feels so huge, just due to the fact of dungeons and such. It's one of the reasons I actually really like RPGs. It's not my favorite genre, but I do love them. I don't even really have a favorite genre. And now for the final flight plan. I do have to do one flight plan off-screen because I need the 10th ticket stub, but oh well. This isn't even that interesting of a flight plan, honestly. The only real thing of note in it is that we're going to pass by a tower, which we'll be heading to later on. Oh, and also, because I know you may have noticed it at this point, but you might be wondering, Kyle, where's the intro? Because the FPS Gamers 3 green thing has just been missing the past couple of videos. Where is it? Well, aside from using it just so I can make sure everything's in the correct aspect ratio for the 720p thing, I'm effectively killing off the intro. Why? It's a waste of 10 seconds, and honestly, it takes a lot more time than it should to find a song to use for the intro. So, yeah, it's dead. If I get a new one later on that I like better, I might use that, but for now, we're going introless for a while. Also, as we saw there a couple seconds ago, we saw the end of the train tracks. We'll be heading there later on. And by that I mean, like, next part. And with that, we're pretty much done with the ticket stubs. I have, I think, 12 total, yeah. So let's go check out some of those things. Have to head up to this cactus and then head west. We'll come across those cactuses that we actually circled around while on the plane. One of them, as you might notice, just barely has a face. Who are you talking to? Wait, a voice is speaking into Nintendo's mind. Let's use telepathy. That's the wrong item. The cactus sang. Melody 5. Yeah, for some reason, they're very often located in groups of 2, very close together. I don't know why. Mind you, that's also the fact of, in this game, you're supposed to be exploring a lot more. You're not supposed to know the game as well as you are your first playthrough. Anyway, let's use those ticket stubs. And we get to take his tank. Now, the weird thing about the tank is, as we'll see in a moment, is that it cannot go in the grass. It's only allowed on the desert. And while you're on it, I don't think you can actually encounter any enemies, aside from one. Which will be coming up on fairly shortly, because we're actually heading towards the desert ruins that we saw earlier. Where are you? There you are! Alright, let's try and enter. By the way, I love the tank theme. Boss battle! Optional boss battle against R7037. As you can see by those stats! Really strong guy. This guy is absolutely unbeatable without the tank. In fact, he'll more often than not, I think he's actually programmed to, kill a party member in one hit. However, the tank is here because, first off, when you fight when you're in the tank fires and does a decent chunk of damage. And when he damages you while you're in the tank actually reflects back the attack. And deals, more often than not, around 1/4 of his HP. this guy is here just to be a wall to make sure you get the tank before entering this next area, because the next area is entirely optional. I'm only showing it off because I can, and because there's an item I want to get in there. But with that, and the tank breaking, sorry guy, we just broke your expensive tank, I'm gonna need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 5 we'll be checking out this little monkey cave, and continuing on past that. See you guys then!